The numbers are in after the Super Bowl, and the numbers are good. They are very, very good. Apparently, this was not only at one point the most watched Super Bowl ever, but also, despite the controversial reaction that people had to it, Kendrick Lamar's halftime show, the most watched halftime show ever.
Wow.
Which you think about some of the halftime shows that's topping, and there's been some whoppers in there, to say the least.
Absolutely.
Prince, obviously. Lady Gaga had a great one that people look back on fondly, I feel. Even recently, the Beyonce, the LA one with Dr. Dre. And Kendrick Lamar at least got more views live than all of those.
It's pretty impressive. We talked about the halftime show on Monday, kind of sharing our thoughts on it. And I know I shared, like, it personally wasn't for me, but did I think that the choreography was cool? Did I think Kendrick sounded awesome? Absolutely. So I think overall it was probably a pretty entertaining show. And so I would imagine people were still, even if they weren't paying attention, leaving their TVs on.
And what do we know about like our day and age in 2025 too, is that if you can be controversial, that keeps everybody watching.
True.
So for all the people that were reacting poorly to it, they were still watching.
Yep.
Because they were watching it to get, I guess, hate watching it or whatever.
Right.
So it kept everybody watching. However, it should be pointed out that Super Bowl viewership, again, peaked at its highest that it's ever been. It peaked at like the end of the second quarter. And went down, like starting at the halftime show, and then it dropped from there.
Yep.
But I don't think it could be attributed to Kendrick Lamar, but more it's attributed to it was already a blowout by halftime.
Yeah.
And so everybody at that point was like, well, I think, we can go, got to go home to bed.
That's exactly
got work the next morning.
Right. That's exactly what I did after after I think they went up by 34-0. I was like, all right, good night. I feel like in the game standards, the Super Bowl itself was a pretty bad game.
Yeah.
As far as like
one of the worst we've had.
Yeah. As far as entertaining, not very entertaining. For Eagles fans, I'm sure it was very entertaining.
Yeah.
But for the rest of us, that's like hoping for a good game. Didn't quite get that. But yeah, I'm not shocked to see that the numbers were high. I feel like overall sentiment for like the NFL and sports and all that, it's quite high right now. So yeah.
And you have to imagine, you think about this Super Bowl, in some ways it wasn't set up. Like the Eagles are a big name team in a big market. The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and they were going through a three-peat. And then Kendrick Lamar, he's not the biggest name to have done the Super Bowl by a long shot. So you think about this is the most watched ever. And then the game was horrible too. And it was still the most watched ever. So you think about it, imagine if it was like, if things had gone different. Like imagine how many people could watch the Super Bowl if all the things go right. It's a good game. Maybe you still have the Chiefs with Taylor Swift involved. Maybe Taylor Swift is a halftime show. Think about how many people would watch that.
Yeah, that would be...
It'd blow your mind.
That would be definitely some groundbreaking numbers, I'm sure.
You just keep thinking, how can more people watch the Super Bowl? Like, how is everybody not watching it? And those are the kind of things that would get everybody on board.
Yeah.
And even without everybody on board, the amount of people watching it is, we're talking about 130 million people.
That's crazy. There's nothing like that. Literally nothing.
Blows your mind. Hopefully, we'll get there one day.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.